Sam Nelson here with video 3 of the luxury tax. In this video, I'm going to talk about when the luxury tax is calculated and assessed, when the next season's is calculated and broadcast, and how it works when you exceed a threshold within the season. So this is a very numbers intensive concept. All of these numbers are fleshed out in the Constitution. If you're a numbers guy and you want to dig into there, I encourage you to do that. These videos are here so that you don't have to do that necessarily. You're going to have to read the Constitution. You're going to have to understand how this works, but hopefully my explaining of it is easier for us to digest. So first off, salary tax or luxury taxes are assessed the night before opening day. So if somebody drafts, say, $400 worth and goes into the luxury tax threshold, but before the season trades down below the cap, they will not be assessed a luxury tax. So that's a key factor, okay? The second element is that after the season starts on opening day, I will take an average of all team salaries. That will be the basis for the tax threshold for the following year. Off of that, I will broadcast what the average salary is and what the luxury tax thresholds are, so everyone can plan well in advance. And again, basically, they're tiers that are going to be about 16.67% or a sixth above what the average is. So if the average were to go to, say, 600 for easy math, then the thresholds would be $100 thresholds, and so on. Number two, when you're in the season and you exceed a cap, you pay a prorated tax. So if you're in July and we've played 81 games and you go into a $40 tax threshold, you only pay $20 in taxes because you're only going to be over the cap for half the year. Now, if at any time you've paid a tax and you go below the threshold, you do not get a refund. You have paid to increase your soft cap, if you will, and you will continue that throughout the season. Now, the trading deadline is on August 10th every year. So it's impossible for a team to wait until the very end of the season and then load up on talent and pay a very small luxury tax prorated. The luxury tax is based on the number of MLB games that have been played divided by the ones remaining, or divided by the total 162 games. So basically, around August 10th, you're still going to have about 60 games left in the season, and so you're going to still pay almost 50% of the luxury tax that would be due. Secondly, if you take a lot of salary into the off season, you're going to be penalized in two ways. Number one, you're going to be at an extreme negotiating disadvantage because everyone knows that you can't cut your players if they're under contract without a penalty, and you can't trade them away because people won't pay you as much because they know that if you keep them, you'll be forced to pay a luxury tax. So it's highly inadvisable for somebody to take on lots of salary, even if they pay for it, and disadvantage themselves from a financial standpoint going into the off season. Secondly, another deposit that will be due is in the winter meetings after the World Series. In order to establish your commitment to the league for the next season, you will be required to deposit 50% of your forecast salary for the next year, in this case 2023. If you've loaded up on talent that you have on the books, then your 50% deposit is going to be substantially higher. So as you can see from the three videos that we've discussed the luxury tax in, there are severe financial penalties, there are financial disadvantages, and there are strategic disadvantages to trying to outspend the league. Will you be able to build a better team that will win a lot of games, maybe even go to the playoffs, maybe even win? Absolutely. But that is not what will drive long-term success or financial success for your team in this case. Anyone who's concerned with being bulldozed from somebody bringing a lot of finances into the league should not be concerned, because ultimately all that team is going to do is pump money into the prize pool for you to win if you're running your franchise efficiently. Secondly, I just want to throw a caveat here that this is not a cheap league. This is not a $50 buy-in league. This is not a $200 buy-in league. I would expect that everyone will spend about $500, give or take $100, in the first inaugural year. After that, as the prize pool builds, discussed in another video, but as the progressive prize pool builds, teams are going to be willing to spend more money in order to win. And if you're not willing to continue spending to keep up, you might be in trouble. So I don't want to discourage you from getting into the league if you're worried about a couple $100, but I also don't want people to jump into the league with the expectation that they're only going to spend $200-300 and be able to be successful long term. Again, the skill that you have at the draft, the quality of the contracts that you extend, all of those things are ultimately what's going to drive your success. I look forward to probably running a middle market franchise. I haven't decided at this point yet, but I would like to have a franchise that is efficient and successful and ultimately provides financial success. Thank you for watching these videos. Please continue on with the channel to check out the other videos that I'm very excited to share, the nuances and the things that make this league special. Thank you.